Are we ready for the change? Introduction to the 452nd Knowledge Seekers Workshop. When is this technology going to come out into public? I think we all ask and wonder about this a lot. This workshop gives many hints. Mr. Keshe said, the showing of the full transmutation in a way that it cannot be denied is the kingpin to the change. Beam me up, Scotty. There are two parts to this. The first is the actual development of the technology by knowledge seekers along with Mr. Keshe. It has to be done by humans. And the second part is the world situation and whether or not it is at that turning point, so that when the appointed hour comes, it spreads like wildfire across the planet. The update on the technological development is that the transmutation of the soul of the physicality has been achieved and confirmed by other people in the flight units. The wife felt the physical presence of her husband in her heart, and the daughter felt the loving touch of the father's hand on her knee. The soul reached across time and space with the physical emotion and showed its presence on the other side. This is the most amazing breakthrough, even though it's hard to recognize it when you watch the testimonials because it's so subtle. The untrained mind has difficulty grasping its true meaning. So we have to trust Mr. Keshe's expertise and guidance in this matter. Another technological development was being able to send objects like an orange and an apple pie across the systems, that the other could feel and taste it. Then there is the souls being able to communicate with each other during the flight. The most obvious implications are that we don't need telephones anymore. We instantly communicate with our souls, which we do already anyway, even if we don't accept it as such. So how close are we from transmutation on the technology side? A switch away. When the gentleman from Holland said he felt the cells of his body open up, begin to separate and expand, and the tingling sensation over the whole body, this was the sign Mr. Keshe was waiting for. So he stopped the process right there. The next step is the full transmutation of the physicality and the start of a new life for mankind. Now that this side is ready, how about humanity? So the second part about humanity being ready to accept the new technology is scattered all around this workshop. But let's start with bringing the soul of the leaders to Linz for elevation of their souls, and then returning them back to make the changes within 7 to 14 days in their offices. The welcome surprise of who is first on this list is the most devious leader hidden in the shadows, under centuries of lies, deception, and abuse. None other than the Pope, which really means the Vatican. But elevating the Pope to finally tell the truth will shatter the power structure of the world as we know it. And what will fill the vacuum? The new technology and the elevated souls of the knowledge seekers spread out across the world as satellites. This plan is perfect. He calls this moment the tipping point of the change of humanity. Everything has to be absolutely perfect and ready, not 1 minute sooner or 1 minute later for the change to start. It's funny because he said, we were expecting it at 3 o'clock yesterday, but it didn't happen. Maybe it will happen tomorrow. We're all waiting. The bombing of the gas pipeline from Russia to Germany is adding to this tipping point. Now there's no way to get back because there's no way to replace the gas for Europe except the new technology, which they still deny exists. This puts America in position of power as it had during the Second World War. Europe has now become dependent on America for fuel and food. But this really means British Petroleum, BP, will control. Or are we back again to the King of England? Soul number 3 that needs to be elevated by the knowledge seekers. The last question was, why has the Pope asked all Catholics to send their money back to Rome? Are they worried the end is near? As they say, the darkest hour is just before the dawn. It seems Mr. Keshe wants to complete this by Christmas. So instead of the false Christmas, we can celebrate the true peace. This last paragraph gathered together a lot of little pieces of the hidden structure of our world that we have lived in denial of. Those who want total domination of the world are continuing their plan, as if we and the technology don't exist. In our simplicity, we see their plan by their actions, not by how their controlled media interprets things. They are acting as if they have total power and nobody can stop them. Again, from our simple heart, we see that they are actually preparing the world for the change without them even knowing it. When the events merge at that tipping point, humanity will have to decide whether to continue to suffer or to accept the beauty of the new technology. Showing the transmutation will be the proof that many need to accept the change. Keep in mind that Keshe Foundation, as an underground scientific organization, which is now being suppressed by certain governments, that when the transmutation is shown, will be blown out into the world, that no government can stop it. At that time, the world will be running to us for the knowledge of the plasma we carry to help them with the transition. So that's where we are, waiting. But really, should we just be waiting? Or should we be working hard to find and get to know our soul? Mr. Keshe said, your life just begins when you leave the flight enhancement unit. For some, it is joyful. Others feel it as harsh. And still others may deny it altogether, because that is what mankind is used to. There is an important teaching here. For the ones who are doing the inner work and living correctly, they will experience the joy. And the ones who just start the journey have it harder, because now they begin to face themselves and all that they denied. For those ones who live in denial, maybe they just go back to sleep. But again, the decision is ours to use this technology and power to quickly enter into ourselves and become whole again. For those knowledge seekers who already understand that the essence of the Keshe Foundation teachings is service, will have no fear of the changes. Rather, will experience the joy of serving more. There was another teaching in this workshop that confirmed how powerful this universal knowledge we are learning is, and that was the creation of a new race. A knowledge seeker gave the example of putting 5 different ganzas together, adding the elevation of our soul and our love and intention, and then what kind of being would be created. Mr. Keshe beautifully explained what kind of interactions it would create and what would be the result. But I'll leave that for you to study. But what was said about it is, we as mankind are just a collection of intelligent gases? There's still a lot more in this workshop. Thank you for listening.